Volt is lying in bed in his room, bored. LZ insisted that he rest for at least a week after spending too much cis. He was killing time inside China, but he also got bored with it. An idea arises in your mind. He decides he's going into town and jumps out the window to the ground, scaring the cattle. He tries to be quiet because he shouldn't be discovered. He likes to be able to prepare quickly to leave. Unlike his previous world, where it would take several hours to find him. He climbs again to the hill, admiring the beautiful view of the city and the main castle. Volt dreams in a day to own a castle and paint the walls black. His stomach snores, and he realizes he hasn't had breakfast. He looks in his wallet and estimates the value, considering he shared the reward with Rika, was small. While eating a sandwich on a crowded street, he thinks about armor. LZ keeps telling him, and he checks your finances to think about it. After breakfast, you have 2,000 Rioni left. He understands that he won't be able to buy a new armor with that value, and he won't be able to take it from the guild either. The boy thinks of armor that can resist Rika's dark magic, and wonders if it would be better simply to buy new clothes after each mission. He reflects that he needs to correct Rika's habit of creating sudden explosions, whose effects he has already felt on himself. Volt walks the street, thinking that practical training would suit Rika better, and that improvement can only come with repetition. The hero believes that if Rika grows up as a black magician, she will become very useful. He believes this is for her own good. Looking around, the hero realizes he wandered down an unknown street. The moment the hero plans to return to the main street, one hears a scream warning him of danger. A scream comes from above, and he observes, shocked, while a girl in a cute white dress turns out the window. Volt extends hands instinctively. It falls directly into your arms. The girl thanks him for his name, and is surprised they met at that place. Volt doesn't recognize her. The boy puts her down and asks how she knows her name. She's amazed he didn't recognize her. And drop your hair. Understanding comes in the eyes of the hero. Her hair falls freely behind her back, and the hero finally recognizes her as Iris. She points out that Volt usually realizes this kind of thing. He justifies himself by saying that he only remembers her as an adventurer. The girl shares that she knows he graduated from school on the first day, and also asks if he started doing his chores. The hero answers affirmatively. Sounds are heard from the depths of the street. Volt looks around. Volt wonders if any kind of battle is taking place. Iris responds hesitantly, that's not it. He feels something is wrong, looking at Iris' depressed expression. The girl wants to ask him something. To what Volt says he owes her for becoming her guardian, so he'll agree anyway. Iris looks closely at the hero and asks him to become his kidnapper. Volt is shocked by this request. Armored men appear behind them, screaming for the boy to get away from Iris. He turns to them with displeasure. They shout that he is not the person the girl should talk to, and that they will not have mercy if the hero resists. Volt asks the girl who these people are. With a dark countenance, she says these people are evil, and they're trying to capture her. Volt confidently says that hearing the soldiers' racket annoys him, and, taking Iris' hand in his, declares to her that he will kidnap her. The girl looks back with gratitude. Volt takes Iris in his arms and runs away from the soldiers, who try to reach them. Heroes see that a group of soldiers is also appearing ahead, and Iris warns Volt with concern about it, so he calms her down and tells her to hold on. The boy drives from the ground and jumps high, flying over the soldiers. They look at the boy with amazement and can't believe he's an ordinary person. The order is given to capture the heroes anyway. Walt tries to blend in with the crowd. Walt notices the girl's distinctive outfit and suggests changing her dress for something else when he runs into a nearby store. Iris admits with embarrassment that he doesn't have his wallet. To what the hero answers that he can help pay. He's not sure if 2,000 rians will be enough because he doesn't understand the prices of women's clothes. They keep running and are noticed by a well-dressed girl in a hat. She recognizes the girl in Walt's arms as Iris and calls her by name. Walt stops and puts it down. Girl says Iris isn't usually seen with a map. Walt suggests that the girl is also a stalker. Iris assures you that she's your friend. The girl presents herself as Shiran. Walt realizes that girls are really close. They're all standing together in a corner. Walt's on his back, protecting the entrance, while the girls behind him do something out of his sight. He instigates Iris, warning her that soldiers may be arriving soon. She asks him to wait. He doesn't feel comfortable with Iris remembering the map of the capital and knowing places where no one else is. It was she who led them to this narrow street. She's the one who had the idea to change clothes with Sharon, so they ended up in this place. Walt can't believe Iris is going to change his appearance just by changing clothes in an alley. While the girls are changing their clothes, Iris comments that the boy was surprised to hear that Sharon is heir to the castle of the Demon King. Shira notes that this is the first time anyone has shown such interest in the name of the bar. Walt is surprised, thinking of something completely different. Shiran says he never would have imagined he was the promising newcomer. Girls praise each other's appearance and play with each other. Walt is ashamed to think he can hear everything they say. The boy nervously asks if Iris has finished changing Jen. Walt turns around and sees Shironen. He looks at her, surprised. Iris' dress is a little tight in the chest area, and she says she expected it to get weird. The boy begins to murmur, ashamed. Iris apologizes and gives you a coat. Chiron says it's okay, understanding the whole situation. She feels better after wearing her coat. Shiran is leaving. Walt and Iris are left alone, drawing up a new plan of action. Walt hesitates, questioning if you really want to know about her situation. He asks if she wants him to ask. She says no, squeezing the dress bar with her hand. The boy reassures her, saying that until she wants to tell everything herself, she doesn't have to, placing his hand on your head in support. Iris smiles and thanks him, to which he, ashamed, answers that there is no need. Iris asks why he came into town first. Walt says he'd like to visit the armor shop. The girl offers to take him to the store she always attends. She takes her hand and, smiling, pulls him in the right direction. Walt follows her willingly. They arrive at a store called Dragon God Scales. Walt warns you there's very little money. The girl responds that the inspection has no cost. They come in, and Iris greets the owner. Doman is an older man, a strong man with short hair and a beard. He greets the heroes and turns his attention to the girl, recognizing her as Iris. You're surprised to see the girl came along with a boy. Iris explains that you're acting as his guardian, introducing Walt to the man as a new adventurer. Doman hears a familiar name. And remember that the whole town was talking about him as the newcomer who defeated the dragon. Iris says Walt wants to see the armor. Doman asks how much money he has with you. The boy specifies that he has 2,000 Ryan. The owner smiles and says that for that price, he can only offer old gloves. The protagonist clarifies that he does not do useless shopping and wants to know if the merchant has something to protect against magic. The merchant asks if he heard correctly, for protection from magic. Having heard the dialogue, Iris decides to get closer to men. She's very interested in why the boy needed protection from magic. The protagonist clarifies that, after all, there is a reason. He asks if the girl knows Henrika Estelander. Iris suggests Walt wants to work with the LFL. But the boy doesn't want to jump to conclusions. He explains the situation. The girl understands that the boy wants to protect himself more from magic than from weapons, to which he answers affirmatively. Iris asks permission to approach the protagonist, receiving a confused look and a question, "Why?" She just hugs him, leaving the boy extremely embarrassed. The girl feels the boy's skin carefully. The protagonist blushes and tries to understand what the girl is doing. Even the owner covered his red face with shame. The situation was uncomfortable for the boy. Iris just expresses the idea that there's something strange about Walt's body. The boy doesn't understand what she's talking about. He wonders what's so unusual about his body. Who receives the answer that there is a thin layer of magical energy under his skin? Maybe that's the secret of your strength. Walt did not know about his abilities. Iris just expresses the thought that most likely that's his innate ability. The girl decides to help the boy and asks him to imagine that clothes are his skin. Maybe that way he can expand his protective barrier. While Walt expresses doubts, he thinks he's definitely not gonna make it. Iris only supports him because until he tries, he certainly won't know anything about his abilities. And he insists on trying right there and now. The boy throws a disapproving look at her. But still he focuses on his feelings and tries to imagine that clothes are his skin. As the girl advised, he feels like he's found the right wave. He feels a strange thread around his body. Walt found his magical layer of protection. All that was missing was extending it throughout his body. As the boy prepares, Iris decides to look at the guns. The seller clarifies that he is selling armor. But still, a sword was found. With concern for the return of the owner, he delivers the sword to her. Leaving this thought aside, he asks the girl to show her skills, to which she readily agrees and removes the sword from the sheath. Iris, with his serious face, made a strong blow with the sword, aiming directly at Walt's hand. The sword reached his hand and broke into several thousand pieces with a loud and resounding sound. A piece of the sword got stuck in the ceiling. All three are enchanted with Walt's new protective layer, because now he's no longer in danger. The merchant wants to know who will pay for this sword now and throws the couple a bored and disgruntled look. Of course, the former owner will charge Iris for losing his sword, and if the merchant finds him, he will deliver it. The boy is surprised by the situation. Walt and the girl insinuate clumsily that they will surely return the payment for the sword, but definitely not in the near future. The merchant sighs of disappointment at the two pleading looks. He quickly expels them into the street as far away from himself as possible. Both leave the building quickly, as Walt now has his own force field. He doesn't need to take anything else there, and he can leave. Iris comments that it is not right to leave without paying, but it seems that out of respect for Walt, the merchant did not insist on payment. The boy comments that Doman is a good and severe man, a merchant who certainly understands his trade. The girl suggests going to a gun store she knows. Iris says he often goes there, and the sword he sent to sharpen should be ready by now. Walt agrees. The girl quickly pulled him by the hand toward the store. The boy did not expect such pressure, and almost fell with her energy. While the couple ran, Rika noticed them in the crowd. She wonders why Walt is with Iris now. Remember Tanisha's words that time is passing, and that he probably found a new companion. The girl gets lost in thoughts, imagining that Walt and Iris are now happy together. So, what does that mean? She realizes she's very jealous. hits his fists against his own head, trying to convince himself that Iris is just accompanying him. But still, a brilliant idea comes up, that one day Rika and Walt will become the best wizards, fighting side by side. She decides that this is the time to calm down, but she cannot contain herself and runs after them. The main characters arrived at a small cozy gun shop called War God's Song. Walt asks Iris if this is really his favorite store, and he gets a positive answer. The boy is surprised at the size of the store. The couple is received politely. A cute girl with cat ears recognizes Iris and tries to understand what kind of mask ball she's doing. The girl shows surprise with the boy next to her friend. She's never seen him before. The girl with cat ears expresses her envy. Iris just turns to Corinne to calm her down. The girl introduces Walt as a newcomer and says she's helping him settle down. Corinne thinks that's your friend's boyfriend. The girl with ears sighs because the couple only brings losses. Corinne says openly that Walt is very cute and goes far. The girl says there's a lot of rumors about the boy, but leaving that thought aside, asks Iris what she's looking for there. Corinne gives her friend the sharp sword, saying it will serve her for a long time. Iris thanks her friend and asks to leave the bill with the guild. Receiving a thank you in return, Corinne decides to find out if Walt needs anything. When asking about his previous weapons, the boy shares that he was fighting with a sword. The kitten offers the boy a relatively wide blade, which, according to her, is suitable for both beginners and experienced warriors. Corinne plays by saying that the sword is as wide as its soul. Iris realized that the girl didn't sell Seamus blades, because she said she wanted nothing to do with them. Corinne jokes that it's very profitable to sell them. Corinne says the most important thing is that the swords are light and comfortable to hold in hand. As soon as Walt caught the sword in her hands, she suddenly broke into 1,000 pieces, causing panic in the cattle. The boy wonders if it's a forgery. Corinne only trembles to see that his sword was broken like a stick. Iris expresses dissatisfaction with the title of Greatest Forge. The cat responds to the provocation and wants to know what happened. But the girl doesn't know either and thinks the problem is in Val. Iris asks if he suddenly lost control of his power. Walt's not sure. The girl suggests to take another sword. The boy agrees and takes another sword in his hands. The sword breaks again in his hand. Corinne panics because his swords break so easily. The cat faints. Iris tries to catch her friend. The cat is sad. His swords are broken, his poor shop destroyed. Meanwhile, Iris finds out with Walt which sword he used before. The girl doesn't believe there's a sword that can hold her power. Walt reveals that he used a sword made from a special mineral called the Demon Stone, but is not sure if that stone exists in this world. Corinne thinks with fear in his eyes about losing 2 masterpieces from his shop. Walt says they need a special mineral that reacts unusually to the manifestations of magic. Iris thinks about it. The girl thinks an oriental scimitar sword would be appropriate. Corinne praises the girl for such a clever thought, and shares that she also thought of that sword, and Walt discovered how such a sword is called in this world. Iris says what Walt calls the Devil's Stone is extracted only from a mine in the east. The mineral is similar to magical steel. This ore is used for the Eastern Scimitar. Walt happily asks Corinne if she has a sword like that, to which she responds negatively, although it is unlikely that she has such a sword in her shop. Corinne is not sure, because a sword like this cannot be used without special skills, and it is not certain that there is even one of those swords in the region. And she adds that if there is one, the price will be enormous. Iris clarifies that all this is because magical steel extraction requests are very rare. The boy understood. Walt concludes that he first needs to get the order get some mineral for himself, and then find a craftsman to make the sword. Iris laughs quietly. The boy doesn't understand what's funny about what he said. The girl shares that now he thinks like one of them, and thinks that's funny. Walt swears none of this happened, but they are interrupted by Corinne, who draws attention to the cough. Corinne suggests discussing the two swords Walt broke, but the boy hesitated. Just like at the merchant's store, they both say they'll definitely return the money. Corinne explodes, thinking they rehearsed this speech as a play. The streets of this small town were crowded with people, each one slowly following his errands. Walt thinks that, with so many people, his stalkers will definitely not be able to find them. He tells Iris there's a lot of people on the street today. To what he gets the answer that today is a holiday. The boy is very interested. The girl says today is a great holiday, a day of prayers for the harvest. On a day like this, the goddess of fertility is asked for an abundant harvest. Walt had the feeling that everyone was just drinking and having fun, which wouldn't be surprising. Iris noticed something very appetizing, and Walt ran quickly towards the delicacies. The boy sees it for the first time and asks the girl what that is. He's surprised. She's surprised someone is hearing about crepes for the first time. The food, which resembles pancakes with a delicious filling inside, looks delicious, and Walt noted that they are convenient to eat in motion. Iris gets upset about not having any money. Walt offers to pay for it. The boy clarifies that this is a form of gratitude for going shopping today. The girl is happy and gratefully. Walt takes a small bite on the very tasty crepe. The pancake looks very appetizing on your hands. He really liked it. Iris told you this store has the most delicious crepes. Walt promises to remember this place. The boy understands it's really delicious. The girl thanks you again. Together, they spend a very pleasant time, sitting quietly on a bench with something sweet in their hands. Walt wants to share that his father also says so, but they are interrupted by the cry of the girl, who claims to have finally met Miss Iris. The couple looks confused towards the scream. The girl, with a severe intonation in her voice, asks why Iris is wearing plebeian clothes. They've been looking for her for a long time. The frowning eyebrows indicate that the girl is not very happy with this situation at the moment. Walt doesn't understand what's going on. Ranzanula almost orders her respectable lady to stop running from them. She asks the girl to come home, because his father is very concerned about her. He cares very much about his daughter. Walt has some kind of accomplishment. He turns his head towards Iris. The girl just lowers her eyes and apologizes. Ashamed, she apologizes for not being able to tell you sooner. Your look transmitting that you're really sorry. The girl shares that her father dreamed she would have a rich life, but Iris always wanted to be a warrior, so she ran away from home. Thanks to her efforts, she has become who she is now. The boy doesn't like what he just heard. Walt wonders what she's gonna do now. Because in a situation like this, you need to think carefully about the next step. Anyway, whatever she chooses, hell always be there for her. The girl smiles. She thanks Walt for such kind words. Iris shares that he cannot really avoid problems forever, and gathers courage to talk to his father. And if he doesn't understand you, then she will leave her home forever. No matter what, she's ready to take that risky step. Walt just scratches his head. He understands Iris' intentions and has no intention of stopping her. He joked that if necessary could kidnap her again. The girl laughed and was inspired by this funny idea. Now she can count on him. Walt only agrees with this idea because has already done this once, so you can do a second. A girl is at the height of the roofs of the houses and watches people down there, the wind shaking her long dress. She says she's not wasting her time, and she's watching her daughter. The witch Brigham watches the people upstairs. She looks extremely majestic. The girl says there once was a country called Muschelheim, the country of the fire giants. Only they could live there. The giants came from mythical lands, twilight of the gods. That is Ragnarok. The world will be turned into an abyss by the one in whose hand the flaming sword will end. With a sinister smile on her lips, she says she will now have fun. The girl casts a spell and gives the order for the great giant of fire, Cert, to appear. Iris says goodbye to Valt. Now she goes to her father. She's sad to leave, but she has to. The guards are rushing Iris. Your father's already waiting. The boy settles down, but realizes something strange. As if the clouds were piling up too much on the capital, there was something very strange in heaven. Everything seems very strange. Something terrifying, loaded with a sinister aura, something dangerous and scary. An invocation portal. Chapter 6. The Giant of Fire. From where a huge monster appears, the people's screams were loud. A huge, dangerous giant has descended directly from the sky. They all ran in different directions, like little insects, against the backdrop of such a majestic monster. Walt, with a calm face, decides to find out what caused the panic among people. He didn't immediately understand how serious the problem was. The boy thinks that's part of the celebration. Sounds like a performance. Ranzaluna scolds him hard, for this is definitely not a presentation. It's an emergency. Valt shares the thought that maybe this isn't really a presentation, while the giant fills with dark energy and gains strength. The huge monster swings his immense unhuman leg. He exudes a fierce desire to destroy. It won't spare anyone. Iris thinks of running to hell before the giant has time to attack. People flee the scene in great panic. The girl understands that she needs to save people. With fear in her eyes, she watches people panic. Everyone's trying to save themselves. Someone is saving their relatives. Iris considers it his duty to protect them, but he claims there's a stir in the royal capital, which means it's his responsibility to resolve it. Ranzaluna prevents her with concern, on the pretext that Iris is currently unarmed, and that she is not in the status of the young woman fighting now. The girl asks, what if she has a gun? Showing her brilliant sword, she's ready to attack the giant to save the people. Ranzaluna still forbids her to go to battle, for she doesn't even have armor. Someone calls Iris. Lutessa comes running to the rescue, along with her faithful mascot. The girl says a huge creature attacked the city and asks if anyone knows what it is. Ranzaluna doesn't know anything about this monster either. She shares the thought that Mrs. Gerda may know. Bolt looks up. A condensing circle of energy appeared above his head. It looked like a portal. The girl, who looked like a witch, fell right into the boy's arms. She seemed completely calm. It was discovered that it was the witch Gerda, and now she was in place, her face expressing total tranquility even in such a situation. Walt thinks it was said it was forbidden to use magic in the city. Is it really an emergency? Gerda is scolded to get out of the boy's hands. The girl apologizes and, under the pretext that she was comfortable sitting there, comes down from his hands. Gerda is questioned about what kind of giant that is. She must know exactly what kind of creature she is. The girl says that's the giant's sword. It says it is one of the great giants of fire that bring destruction and discord. These are the creatures invoked from the highest class. Lutessa's eyes spread. A monster like that is extremely difficult to invoke. The girl shares her concern. Whoever has invoked the giant must be captured immediately. Gerda answers that it is useless, because the caller is too strong. She says this is a magic of the highest level, and that it must have a high view of the sight. Iris realizes they have no choice but to destroy the giant. Ranselna says that's not true, since this has come out of the jurisdiction of the adventuress. She also adds that the night guard would arrive. Iris wants to protest, but Lutessa says quickly that he is on Iris' side. Their dialogue is abruptly interrupted by Volt. He remembers that, while arguing, the giant is destroying the city, and that they need to act urgent. Iris understands that every second is important, and tries to come up with a plan to slow everything down, at least a little bit. But Volt interrupts the girl's monologue. He says her enthusiasm is admirable, but there's one thing. To fight the giants, they need to develop a strategy. Volt reflects on the fact that it is not particularly linked to real capital. But there are many people who live there for whom he is grateful. A lot of people took care of him there. Warm memories associated with capital come to mind. You might say it's almost your home, but most of all he's grateful for the delicious food. And he's not happy that a monster can do whatever he wants there, in a place where so many kind and supportive people live. Vol shares that he has an idea, and that will clearly be more useful than his discussions, determination shining in his eyes. The houses of ordinary residents are covered by a wave of intense fire. More and all could be reduced to ashes. Lutessa screams loudly to draw the attention of the giant, showing that his opponent is right in front of him. Sitting on her pet, she directs flows of her magic to attack the creature, using all the force of her powers, fire directly into the legs of the beast. The girl understands that magic bullets are useless against the monster. Closing her jaws, she tries to think of a new method to fight the giant. Lutessa, covering one of his eyes, decides to aim directly at the monster. The girl raises her gun and points it at the giant. The aim is directed to a part of the joint. Shoots, but it didn't work. The bullet hit, but melted rapidly on the monster's paws. The girl is in great shock because her bullet was destroyed in an instant. The monster didn't even notice. Lutessa understands that this trick will definitely no longer work against him. He urgently needs to come up with another tactic. Iris runs towards the giant to attack. She squeezes your gun harder, jumping to the creature. She strikes with her sword as soon as you touch the giant's leg. Lava began to cover the sword in an attempt to melt it. Giant members appear to be pure lava. The girl became too hot due to his powerful force. The girl retreated from the attack, moving away from the giant. Iris didn't even scratch it. A normal sword would have melted by now. Is the giant really completely invulnerable? Lutessa shouts to Iris that the creature is really strange, and she jumps from her previous hiding place. The girl reveals that she looks like a giant flame, feels like she's wrapped in armor, and is also not affected by physical blows. Lutessa holds Iris by the shoulders and claims they need to follow Volt's plan and distract the giant. That's all you can do now. Iris' eyes shine with determination. Her gaze says she is ready for battle. She walks confidently ahead, leading Lutessa behind you. Iris is about to show the full power of the White Cavalry, and attacks with Schwan and Flugel. The strong energy involves space with its intense strength. Ranzaluna closes his fists, realizing that he arrived too late, because Iris is already in battle. She blames herself for not being able to help her master. Volt interrupts her monologue and advises her to calm down. He tells her to calm down, but she doesn't. They decided to lure the giant and counterattack him, chasing the knight. Saying that she cannot trust her companions, Ranzaluna closes her jaw in anger. Volt hears someone calling him. In his head, it was a female voice. It is found that Iris only activated his ability for a short time. The giant will chase the girl while she distracts her attention for as long as possible. Iris lures the giant closer to the right point to arrest him. Just as Volt instructed, he's ready to attack. All you need to do is wait until the giant is brought into your hands. In front of the boy and Ranzaluna, a giant appeared. A massive figure advancing, destroying everything in its path. He wants to destroy everything. The clawed hand of a huge monster is visible. He's been trying to catch the girls he's been chasing all this time. Iris and Lutessa shout that they brought the giant right into Volt's hands, who is already waiting for him and ready to start his plan. He warns Gerda to act. She accepts the warning. The girl begins to conjure up a spell, invoking the dark god Barasa to hear her call, a spell to summon a trap for the giant. The gates of Tartarus open, creating a barrier around the giant. Now he definitely won't get away. It fell into the Heros' hands. Volt praised Gerda, calling her a pretty little witch. The giant is trapped for a while. He definitely won't be able to get out. Ransaluna, Iris and Lutessa were ready to fight. With confidence, they were prepared to fight. With determined looks, they watched the giant, which was within a powerful barrier. Volt kept saying that the giant's performance was over. The monster was preparing to fight. The monster screamed loudly. Looks like some kind of summoning spell. The team notices and pays attention to the salamander invoked. The giant conjured assistance for himself. Ranzaluna emphasizes that the invoked creature calls his own kind and asks him to let her deal with it. It opens the way for them to advance. Lutessa sends his pet to fight them. Iris will definitely not submit to anyone. It strikes several devastating blows to the lizard. The little monsters break apart. Suddenly, behind Volt, there's a very strong explosion. A huge cloud of dust and debris flew into the air. It was the old lizard. He realizes that his companions can get into very dangerous trouble and calls for Iris, trying to find her. The girl suddenly appears from the smoke after a huge explosion, jumping high above the cloud. She smiles radiant, saying she is perfectly fine, her eyes shining with determination. Volt thinks the girl knows how to really win, sighs and asks her not to scare him like that again. The guy himself attacks because the lizards are pretty weak, and with one stroke he managed to get rid of her. The creature disappeared suddenly, leaving behind an explosion, and for a second there was silence. But quickly a new creature appeared to replace the previous one. Volt understands that if you eliminate one lizard, another appears immediately. And if you leave the giant unattended, he will definitely destroy the barrier. And in general, the girls are behaving very carefree. The giant aims at the protagonist, trying to attack him from behind, pointing his huge fist at him. The limb flies towards the boy with a whistle. Volt shows his teeth dangerously, because even if they hit him before he could finish his thinking, was heard not too far. Someone was protecting themselves with their hands because they managed to escape. Volt is now in a very dangerous situation. The boy was surprised. Didn't the child have time to escape? If Volt escapes the blow, then the child will suffer. The giant attacked, destroying absolutely everything in his path with just one blow from his fist. A very strong wind of dust and sand rose into the sky. The man in the cape covers his face with his hands, trying to protect his eyes. In front of him was Volt, who protected him from the flaming attack by making himself a shield, saying it was really hot, because it was even hotter than the flame the dragon was spitting. Lutessa and Ranzaluna looked shocked at the guy who made himself a human shield. This scene scared the hell out of them. Volt smiles with arrogance, for he has managed to stop the giant's sword with one hand. Covering his face with his hand, he laughs frantically. The boy smiles radiantly and screams how weak Surt's fire is, because it was much warmer in the Demon King's sauna. Lutessa and Ranzaluna were intrigued, because that was definitely not human strength. It was a terrible thing. Iris was simply speechless. She remained in shock, with her eyes wide open. The girl behind him turns out to be Rika. She looks at the boy like he's her great savior. He speaks very, very loudly to Giant Cert, having obtained the monster's weapon. He threatens him with an arrogant smile, saying he now belongs to Volt. The guy strikes a powerful blow with the opponent's weapon that knocks down the giant standing, and he retreats before the devastating impact. Rika sits on the ground, completely stunned, not understanding if all this is normal, her eyes filling with tears of fear. Volt looks at the girl wiping her hands, wondering what she's doing there after all. No one expected to see you there. With the giant on weak knees at the bottom, the girl tries to justify herself somehow, until the guy has a brilliant idea. Volt, with a cheeky smile, asks Rika to help him. The girl's eyes spread, without understanding anything at all, a nervous smile forming on her lips. The giant falls with a punching blow from his own sword. For a monster like that, only his gun can hit him, Iris, with wide eyes, thinks. She remembers the sword at the gun shop. She certainly thought that was amazing. The girl says, Volt easily exceeded all his expectations. Chapter 7. Volt turns to Rika, who is sitting on the floor, reminding her that she had asked for help and wants to know how long she will sit. To which the girl responds that she cannot stand and apologizes quietly. Rika falls to her knees, already apologizing out loud for having caused Volt so much trouble. He looks at the girl like she's crazy. The guys are arguing warmly that Volt wants to help Rika. She denies it, saying there's nothing to be done. It makes no sense to bother while the giant in the background gathers forces to rise. The guy thinks Rika hit his head hard while something flies next to him, trying to hit a precise blow. The girl screams loudly. She's really noisy, Volt, says the giant is angry because the guy broke his huge sword. He grabs Rika's elbow and pulls her up as fast as possible. Lifting it in his arms, he carries it away from the powerful explosion that could easily reach the couple. It was very similar to a curtain of fire. Now Gerda had no choice but to concentrate fully on keeping the magic circle. Rika closes her eyes and he asks out loud what she has. She's really scared. Volt also wonders if she was really scared as a little child getting wet. The girl denies it, and in general it's too embarrassing for her. The girl curses herself more than a dozen times, with tears in her innocent eyes. The boy says he's not interested in that kind of thing. He just asked Rika for help more than once. With the monster finding strength to rise, Volt explains that he is a giant of fire, and that he believes that the weak point of fire is water. So he asks Riku to use black water magic. The girl is very insecure about her abilities, and expresses some doubts about it. Volt supports Riku. Ensuring she has talent, he definitely believes in her strength. The boy reminds her of the time the girl turned him into a flame, and Riku covers his face with his hands and apologizes out loud for the incident. Alt encourages her not to worry about destroying everything, because now they need her destructive power. And he adds that there's no need to worry about Iris and the others. They clearly don't need help now. Clearly, the girls will manage to escape. They fight bravely against lizards that attack from all sides. He makes sure that when the girl casts a spell, he will also take action. Volt promises to protect her, her eyes shining with confidence in her words. Rika's eyes light up with determination. She is now more confident in her skills and promises to try. Even in a desperate situation, she feels a wave of courage. She's not afraid anymore. She feels stronger. The lava falling, the waves of salamanders, and even the power of this giant no longer frightens her. Rika is no longer afraid of anything. Gathering all her will in one fist, she casts a powerful spell. The girl raised her voice to the full volume and called everyone to hear it. She says they'll cast a powerful spell and asks them to deal with it as best they can. Iris isn't sure you understand anything, but he's always ready to act. Vault was full of determination. He asks you not to blame him after the warning. He gives a signal to Rika, who appeals to the powers of the water gods to hear his prayers. The girl caused a huge snowstorm. A wave of snow covered almost the entire city. She needed to stop the fire giant. A huge wave of snowstorm has arisen. Loud screams of people were heard from all sides. The wave covered the roofs even from the tallest houses. Ranza Luna claims that snowstorms like this don't happen, which, no matter the angle, is the most powerful ice magic. Diamond Dust, Riki's spell, holds the giant and all around him in his cold and powerful cage. Gerda understands that this is the highest level magic, which can only be compared to her dark magic. Vault calls it a beginner level magic, while observing one of the ice statues Rika created. Even in their homeland, few people used supreme black magic. Vault saw with his own eyes what a true first-rate black wizard he is. Rika was surprised with such damage. It was too dangerous for people's lives. He looks forward to Henlika Estanadel revealing his incredible talent. The girl herself is extremely embarrassed by the scale of the damage she has caused to the giant and lizards. Vault descends with the girl in his arms, clarifying that all the salamanders and the fire giant themselves were frozen. Giant monster eye statues arise around the group. Magic was extremely powerful. Until that moment, had been watching and noticed something interesting. There is a limit of 13 salamanders that can be invoked at the same time. But it is not necessary to eliminate the 13 at once. You can immobilize them and make them incapacitate. Vault explains that everything will be just a big target. Opening his arms to the sides, he concludes that this is extra work. The girl called him. Vault turned his attention to Iris. The boy asks the girl from Rika. They can leave the rest to him, and with a confident tone of voice, you promised you'd end it. Iris holds his hand, asking him to stop, because throwing himself into a fight without thinking is too dangerous an undertaking. The girl adds that first they should find the giant's weaknesses. At the bottom, the giant is sitting silently in his ice cage. Rika intervenes in the conversation, remembering that her body is made entirely of flame, and adds that there will be no results. The guy understands the point, that they must understand the weak point. He thinks he was hoping to end this with his own fists, but it might not work. As the giant begins to emit strange sounds, the ice layer breaks under the pressure of the giant. He almost escaped the frozen captivity. The monster opened his huge mouth. Inside the jaw, an energy clot was forming, about to be fired in an instant. Walt noticed the explosions behind him. He turned abruptly and was surprised because the monsters were all released at once. A huge and powerful explosion knocked everyone to the ground. Walt feels like Hez, on the verge of losing consciousness. He experienced a very familiar and old feeling. Walt remembered the times when he was a fearsome and grand dragon, imposing upon humans, calling them too brave to face such a powerful dragon. He remembered that there was a flash at that time. He saw exactly who was behind it. That man was called the strongest man in this world. It was a truly terrifying sight. 1,000 eyes watching all at the same time, hovering menacingly over people's heads. Walt exploded in a horrible laugh. The people had acted boldly in trying to rid themselves of the dragon. The people were more furious than the devil himself. Loud and extremely rude insults flew toward the people. The world was filled with fear. The people were taken for wild mockery. Walt's body began to take on a human form. Arms, legs, and other parts of the human body. He recognized humans as truly worthy adversaries. Part of him did not want to admit defeat, but the other part understood that there was no more chance. It was definitely his defeat. He's been defeated. Valtu felt dark, cold, empty, somewhere deep in darkness, somewhere all alone. He received the end that was given him. Walt's story was ready for to end instantly. Even though he was convinced he was really weak, he still fought with his own hands. He's really strong. He doesn't know the whole picture himself. He was defeated before the final form. Your card up your sleeve. Valt understands how ironic that story is. Because the wizard used a special magic, he started wandering through another dimension. Somewhere in the void, in the endless void, to protect himself, Valt's brain cut off contact with reality. The transformation to the final form continued. He had calculated everything. He never intended to be reborn as a human. This appearance is your final form. Val takes his hand to the area near the heart, as if he realizes he's alive and trying to say something. Sitting on a knee, he realizes that he is not reborn. He just passed to another world. Valt is contacted through his consciousness. The boy recognizes Gerda by voice. The girl is standing at the top of the bell tower. Next to her, you can see a magic circle that supports the barrier. She warns that she wants to remove the barrier due to lack of force remaining. With a serious look directed to some point ahead, he thinks of his companions, questioning their current states. Suddenly, the image in front of him draws his attention. All your companions are badly injured. Gerda reports that all need to be rescued immediately. Lutessa hugs her pet. Iris is unconscious on the floor. Ranzaluna is in shock. Ranzaluna is weakened, but firmly holds the sword on which it stands. Valt realizes everyone protected him with his back when he passed out. All three of them are seriously injured, but they protected him, risking their lives. The guy turns to Ranzal, as impressed that she really made it. Yes, his training was not enough, but he intends to fix everything. Gerda says she has enough strength to carry everyone to a safer place. The girl raises her surprised look when she hears his voice saying that there is no need. Gerda is bewildered. She discovers that he can communicate using telepathy. Valt reports that he has already collected missing pieces from his memories, and that he can now transfer his magical power to other people. The boy, against the backdrop of the bell tower where Gerda is, promises to do something, and Gerda will have to do something else. He asks Gerda to gather all his magical powers and advises her to try to maintain the bell tower barrier. The girl doesn't know what to answer. She hears the boy's words in shock. Valt shares his joy for finally being able to act freely. With a wild look, he orders the lizards to disappear. They're small prey to him. They disappear instantly, leaving behind huge waves of explosions. Gerda's eyes spread when he realized what happened to the salamanders. She didn't expect such strong pressure from the boy. Valt addresses the giant with disrespect. He doesn't know exactly what Surt is, but you think he's too arrogant for trying to destroy the capital. Right now, Valt is about to show the seriousness of Demon King Ishvalt. With a fearless step, moves as far as possible towards the giant. Taking off, he boldly advances against the giant. Still, Valt believed that he had been reborn as a human and was always limited, while the giant was trying to attack him. The boy simply stopped holding back, releasing his powers. For him, this is child's play. All your companions are lying on the ground, trying to regain consciousness. Iris is trying to get up, sitting on her knees. She seeks in herself the last strength to stand up. She realizes that, next to her, there's a boy fighting a huge giant. And in front of you is an image of a fearless fight by the main character. Iris understands it was Valt who saved your lives. The boy, with a radiant smile on his face, in turn, prepares to strike a crushing blow, screaming for the giant of fire to prepare. Valt reaches the armor of the huge monster with all its strength. Under the powerful blow, the monster retreats. For a second, he seems confused. The armor breaks rapidly with impact, and some intensely sparkling stones become visible inside. Iris perceives the intense light coming from the stone, and in noticing this, tries to distinguish what exactly it is. The girl screams that stone is definitely his weak spot. The glittering stone on the giant's chest draws all attention to itself. It wasn't hard to take it out, but guess the monster's weak spot. Yeah, Valt takes that into consideration and turns his attention to the giant, already aiming at the right place. He made the same assumption as Iris, and then hits the stone with all the strength he can. A flash of light, and Valt is thrown away from the giant's artificial heart. With the stone in his hand, the giant, now heartless, prepares to fall and accept his defeat. The eyes of all girls light up with a radiant hope. The boy finishes the sentence saying that no creature can look at him from above. After all, this would be an unprecedented rudeness for Valt. The boy smiles intensely. He won. The huge stone was instantly broken into small pieces.